In May 1945, Nazi Germany surrendered, and by August, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. World War II was over, but a new kind of terror was beginning. At the Yalta and Potsdam conferences, the map of Europe was carved into spheres of influence. The end of the war didn't bring peace, it created a vacuum. 2 allies, the United States and the Soviet Union, became rivals overnight. They didn't trust each other's vision for the future, leading to a world split between American capitalism and Soviet communism. By 1948, the tension reached a breaking point. On June 24th, the Soviets initiated the Berlin blockade, cutting off all land access to the city. The US responded with the Berlin airlift, flying in supplies for nearly a year. This proved that the war would be fought on 2 fronts: logistics and technology. Then, in August 1949, the Soviet Union successfully tested its first atomic bomb, RDS-1. The American nuclear monopoly was dead. This ushered in the era of mutually assured destruction, or MAD, the terrifying logic that if you shoot, I shoot, and everyone dies. Because the 2 superpowers couldn't fight each other directly without triggering a nuclear apocalypse, they fought through proxy wars. On June 25, 1950, the Korean War began, and by 1965, US combat troops officially entered the jungles of Vietnam. They supported opposing sides in third-party countries, turning local conflicts into global battlefields to expand their own influence without ever technically declaring war on one another. The rivalry eventually spilled off the earth. On October 4, 1957, the USSR launched Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite. The US responded by pouring billions into NASA, eventually landing the Apollo 11 mission on the Moon on July 20, 1969. The space race was a propaganda tool disguised as science. High-altitude rockets weren't just for satellites, they were intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. The message was clear. If you could reach the moon, you could strike any city on Earth with a nuclear warhead. The physical symbol of this divide appeared on August 13, 1961, when construction of the Berlin Wall began, physically cementing the Iron Curtain. Just 1 year later, in October 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis pushed the world to the brink for 13 days. These years marked the most dangerous period in human history. The Berlin Wall was the symbol of the divide, but the Cuban Missile Crisis was the moment the world's heart stopped. For those 13 days, humanity lived on the edge of total extinction. By the 1980s, the Soviet machine was rusting, unable to keep up with the West's economic boom. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev became the leader of the USSR and introduced reforms like glasnost, openness, to save the system, but they acted as a catalyst for its collapse. Once the fear was gone, the people of Eastern Europe reclaimed their borders. On November 9, 1989, the gates of the Berlin Wall were finally opened, and the symbol of the divide was torn down by hand. The final act came on Christmas Day, 1991. The Soviet flag was lowered from the Kremlin for the last time as Mikhail Gorbachev resigned. The Cold War didn't end with a bang, but with a resignation. The Soviet Union officially dissolved into 15 independent nations. The 45-year staring contest was over, but it left behind the world we live in today. From the borders in Europe to the nuclear tensions that still dominate headlines, we are still navigating the landscape created during that half-century of fear.